Hello traders, welcome to the weekly Forex market overview from PAFX. It's me, Pierre, here again. Welcome everybody. I don't think we're gonna have lots of viewers today as usual, since I didn't really promote for this session this time. I've been a little bit busy, and the promotion for the event went like yesterday very late on Facebook. So anyway, it is recorded and it's gonna be over at my YouTube channel, so no problem at all if you seeing the recording. It is always the same information. So let's get started with the disclaimer as usual, and we will see what pairs we have to look at this week. Yeah guys, here is the disclaimer as usual. Please read it carefully and do understand the risk involved in trading, and that every and anything I say in this session is only the way I see the market, and it should not be seen as a signal in any way. If you have any sound or picture issues, guys, please let me know, but it seems like everything is green from my side here. Yeah, well, as usual, let's take a look at the news for the next week. And as you see, we have a little bit more news this week. Last week it was almost empty. We had some news on New Zealand dollar and Aussie. Was a slow week, I would say. Not much happened, and I did expect some sideways market, and we did get that, especially on Euro USD and some other pairs. But as you see, guys, we do have some news next week, and we may see a little bit more of movement. For the sterling pairs, be aware of the news over England, and it seems like the Brexit is gonna shadow everything in trading the sterling pair, and we may have some gaps to the downside earlier on the opening tonight, maybe, because since seems like Theresa May having some troubles, and we may see some bearish sentiment on sterling next week, and there is a lots of Brexit talks going on right now, so you have to keep an eye on that. Read the newspaper and keep yourself informed of what's going on if you're trading the sterling. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the sterling pairs right now, but it's gonna only be technical analysis. The fundamental and the sentiment part, you should do that on your own, cause market sentiment on the sterling been changing almost every day. Yeah, so be careful with that, with those pairs. Let's start with the Dixie as usual. So guys, we're still inside this range, as you see here. We've been talking about those levels the last couple of weeks, and as you see, we are still playing inside this box between the 94.40 area and the 95.15. Last Friday we did actually break this range with a little bit, and I'm still expecting that we may see the retest, a real maybe deeper retest of this neckline before we see a possible bounce from this level. This did not happen yet, and if we go down to the 4 hour, you see it more clear. This is the range I'm talking about, but this leg for now, we are getting like some structure, some bearish structure on the 4 hour with lower lows and lower highs. And once again, we may test deeper toward the monthly pivot point, and where we also have the neckline of this major head and shoulder. At that level, we should be looking for possibility for a bounce from that area. Around the 94.15 level is the level we should look at for a possible bounce. If not, if the Dixie go back inside this range, then we gonna keep playing these bounces until we have a breakout. Yeah. Gold last Friday, on this move, there was nothing really fundamental behind that move. No one is finding anything about that. What I read on Bloomberg, that it was a very huge sell order that entered the market those 10 minutes, and it seems like lots of stop losses got triggered, and we got this major move. So nothing fundamental has changed yet to make that move, and we still moving in a very slow manner, a little bit to the upside, but it still does not give you the confidence that there is a major move to the upside yet. Yeah. Looking at these candles, we have 1 day up, 1 day down, 1 day up, 1 day down, and moving slowly to the upside. So if we go down to the 4 hour, we're gonna see the levels a little bit better. And let me show you the range I'm talking about. We were looking for a possible break of this level, this little range here. We got the break, but then, as I said, Friday we entered the range once again, and we are back inside that box. It is still the areas to look at is 1265 level down here, where we do have possible support levels, and the top of this box it's gonna be a possible level to look at if we're gonna get another bounce to the downside. As for now, if this high is not broken, gold gonna be still under sell pressure. So we want to see this high to get broken, that we and then we can expect that we may reach these upper level around the monthly R1. Okay, so let's go back to the daily. As you see, this could be still a possible correction to the upside, and that we may see another retest back down here in the direction of this major leg to the downside. So very tricky traded right now on many pairs and on gold. So you have to find those range and trade them in short-term trades, and it's not the market to hold for a longer term, because as you see, it have been a very whipsaw for a couple of weeks now. And for position traders, this is real pain to see profit and then see you got in red again or break even. So you should keep trading this range until you see a real breakout for a possible continuation. As for now, it looks like a nice rounded bottom, but since we've got back in that box again, things may change a little bit, and we may retest these lows once again. Yeah. Oil, as you know, guys, I've been bullish on oil until we reach this level where we had the completion of the AB equals CD pattern, and we were expecting a move from this level back down to at least retest this area. We never got that. The price did halt here, gave us one bearish day only, no continuation, and then we had this very important level that got broken now, and it seems like the value at this level is accepted. and we broke above the monthly R1, and last week we have some pressure to the downside once again, but we're still trading above the monthly R1, so it keeps looking bullish, even more bullish now since we broke this important level here, and we should be looking for a possible scenario for the retest back down here around the 55 area for a possible bounce and maybe continuation. The extreme level on oil is, as I showed you last week, guys, is the 62.63. If you are trading oil, you should keep an eye on what's going on and in Saudi Arabia right now. So once again, there is lots of things happening over there, and it is a very, very important oil country, and those fundamentals gonna be very important for the oil price on for longer term. So technically, for now, since we broke above this important structure, the 52.20 level is now broken, and it seems like the price is still trading in these levels without getting a major rejection yet. So once again, the first level to look at for a possible continuation is down here in this area. We look for bullish evidence for a possible another bounce to the upside from this level. Yeah, that is the first level. The second level, if that fails, then would be, of course, back down here, this neckline where we're expecting the first bounce to the downside when we were trading below the 55 level. Yeah, Forex, Aussie Jappy still looking heavy. We had this last test of this level, and we couldn't make it higher, and we've been raging even on this pair. We had a clear range. If we go down to the 4 hour, let's take rid of this trade. It was a perfect trade here that we took last week, but as you see, guys, on the 4 hour we do have now a clear level that we want to see broken for a more to the downside, and that level is, of course, this area down here. We want to see that broken for a possible continuation lower. Yeah, since we keep making lower lows and lower highs, and this is our last low that we want to see broken before a continuation lower. And if we do that, if we get the break of this level here, or the first level on the daily, that may send us back down to the monthly S1 and to this good support level as a potential target area if you are holding a short. Yeah, so if you're not in a short position, then you probably want to look for a possible retest back up toward these levels around the monthly pivot point, 87.6, somewhere in this area, and see if we're gonna get another bounce lower. Aussie USD also in a range, and once again, many ranging markets, and you see the extreme high of the range is up here, but we have this lower range that is easier to see, and it is easier traded, and we're gonna see that much better on the 4 hour time frame. And I still think that we gonna see the completion of this equal measured move ABCD back down toward 0.75 area, and the confirmation we want is, of course, the break of this minor range. You see this range I was talking about. So we are in the middle of this range now. The first level that we can try to sell is, of course, a retest of these highs. up here, that would be the first level to look for bearish evidence, or if we got another retest to the major high here, to try to sell it back down in anticipation that we may break the box for now. As for now, the box is not broken, and you can still try to trade these levels as a possible levels for both to the upside and possible to the downside. Until we break that box, we're gonna keep play this range, and I preferably wait to see for a possible break to the downside. As I said, that would say maybe send us back down to complete this pattern. Okay. Welcome, Carlos. Hi, Idris. Hi, everyone. Whoa, Trong Lee, one of my best traders out there. Welcome, man. Euro Aussie, where the pair is testing right now, is very good and important resistant level. If we look left here, you see we had a great rejection from this level. We'd never reached this on this test, but we reached another test here, went down, and we had this possible fake out and got rejected strongly to the downside. So the pair, this pair is also stuck in a range now. Another pair that been ranging in a narrow range, and we should keep playing that range. So where Aussie, Euro Aussie is testing right now is important level to look at for next week. Look for a possible bearish evidence and see if we're gonna get another bounce to the downside. Yeah, as for now, we did break these necklines here, and it seems like we may continue higher, but look left, we still have these highs and this test here. Those make me think that we may have some resistance at this level, and if that level give us any bearish evidence, then as I said, we may keep playing this box to sell it back down to this level and back up if it's not broken. Yeah, a possible break of this little box that would send us, we want to wait for a break, retest, and that may send us to retest the extreme high and the area of the monthly R1. But as for now, that didn't happen yet, and the best way is to wait for the break and the retest to see that there is a real break and not a possible fake out. Yeah, so as it happens here, we had the break, the retest failed, the level failed to hold the price for another bounce, and we went back all the way down here. Yeah, so that's why we wait for the retest and look for bullish evidence at this level, so we're not stuck in a bad trade. If you took this long without real evidence, that would give you a losing trade. Yeah, EuroCAD, the level I'm looking at is a possible bounce area from the monthly S1 level and this possible support level. Looking to this structure here, there is a lot going on in this area, and I think this level is an important level to look at for a possible at least a bounce to retest of this neckline from this important area. I don't know if we have some Fibonacci confluence at this level. We do have the 61.8 also at that area, and the monthly S1 and previous structure support. So it is an important area to look at for a possible bounce at this important level. Yeah, from the upside, let's go down to the 4 hour. Yeah, it would be much better on the daily. From the upside, we have this first level for a possible sell, or even better if we reach back up to this area. I'm having hard time to see that we reach that level for next week, so I'm expecting first possible retest of this level as a better level to try to trade from for a possible bounce to the upside. Short term, still no clear direction in the market. Still we are inside this major range down here. The bottom of this range is of course down here. These levels are the extreme level of that range, yeah. So we can say that we are still inside this major range here, but since we have the monthly S1 and Fibonacci confluence and structure to work with, I think we can look at this level for the possible bounce. Euro Jappy, I was talking about this level last week, guys, and I told you to look for a possible bounce from this important level, the 131.50 area. We got a nice bounce. We see the level much better on the 4 hour. We had this double bottom. We had a nice move. We broke the neckline, and it seems like we may see a retest higher. So we are inside this lower range right now, in the middle of that, and the levels to trade from, if you are in a long, of course your target should be around this area to take profit. If you are not in a long, you would probably wait for a retest lower. If it gives you a retest of this low, that would be great to try to take another bounce to the upside. Now, since we have this double bottom here, it would be great if we have if we try to have a 2618 trade. If this is like our last high to take the the Fibonacci measurement tools from. So if this is the high and the pair start moving lower from this level, the 618 would be a good level to try to take a long and anticipate a 2618 trade. If you don't know how to trade to 2618, look that up in my YouTube channel, make a search, write how to trade 2618, and you will get a tutorial where I explain how to trade it. So once again, we are inside the box. We want to play that box. We can sell this high for a possible bounce to the downside, or if we get another test lower, we can buy this level for another bounce inside this box until we see a clear break and continuation. Let's see, we gonna do the USD CAD, I think. We're getting there, buddy. You're gonna see the USD CAD later. Euro sterling, we had a great bounce from this important level, and now we are like in getting higher lows and lower highs, and no clear direction. Also, this candle gonna decide this particular range right now. It seems like we broke below, since we reached the monthly R1, we broke below the monthly pivot point, and we're doing some kind of retest of this level here. So the best way is to look for a possible retest down here and see if we're gonna get another bounce to the upside, or if we reach these highs once again, then we may want to look for bearish evidence at this level for another bounce to the downside. I'm not sure we're gonna see a breakout play on this pair yet, so the better way for me is to wait for a retest of this level or these highs once again. as you see now, we are in the middle of this range, and this can go either way. I wouldn't trade where the pair is right now. So it's much better to have some patience and wait for your level. We have some minor level, as you see here. This structure here, the neckline here is acting as possible resistance. As you see, we have some rejection at this level, and for a shorter term trader intraday, you maybe can find a trade around this area for a possible bounce back down. And I'm talking like trading the 15-minute in this scenario. For swing trades, we want to trade from better level, and that better level would be down here for a possible bounce, at least to retest the highs. And this would give us much better risk to reward. Long term, I still can't see anything else than we want to see a break here to talk for a possible longer term to the downside. As far as this level is holding, this area here, we should keep buying it and try the highs once again as targets. Euro New Zealand, this important structure we've been talking about in the last week overview. I said that we should look to see a possibility that this level hold. I think we had the 100 moving average also. No, we didn't. We had some moving average coming at this level. The 20 and 50, the area between the 20 and 50 is acting as good dynamic support. As you see, we had previous structure, and we got a good bounce on lower time frames at this level. Yeah, but if we go down to the 4 hour, you see that this bounce could be also another retest of this important structure and this important neckline we have here. Let me once again change the color of this so you can see it a little bit better. I'm talking about this structure, and this possible head and shoulder is not possible anymore. It got broken and confirmed, and we may see some bounce play inside this lower range for next week. And if we get a break to the downside, that would send us back down to the monthly S1, or even lower to retest these lows back down here is the first trouble area to look at. That would be great, since we don't have lots of structure inside this box here, as you see. So if we try to sell this area here in anticipation that we may break to retest these lows, that would be the best scenario, since we broke below this neckline for now. But once again, we have this structure. It is important structure to look at, and we want to see that broken. As for now, we are testing the 50 moving average on the 4 hour, and let's see how the market plays early this week. We should look where the price is testing right now for possible scenarios if we want to sell it from here. Alex, I'm not sure if it will play out this week. All depends, as I said in the start of the session, on how the political situation will play out in England. EURUSD also in a range, in a sideway, a very clear box we have here. We had a possible fake out below here when we broke this last low, but EURUSD went back inside that box. The level I'm looking at for a possible continuation of this down move now is another retest at 1.17 area at this structure here. This previous structure, as you see, been acting as good support and may act as possible resistance now. We never tested that deep, and as I said in the Dixie, if this happened, then that would send the Dixie down deeper to retest that neckline too, and then try to sell from the 1.17 back at least to the bottom of this range down here. On the 4 hour it looks like this, and as you see, it is also once again clear range up here that we could try and trade until we get a breakout. This one was only a fake out and we pushed back all the way up. And now if we crunch the short a little bit more, you see why I'm interested at this level. It has been acting as good support in the past, looking left, and I'm expecting a retest of that level that may give us some bearish evidence at this level to try to trade it back down. And the sterling pairs. Yeah. Once again, guys, you need to keep a clear look at what's going on politically. Brexit, all the talks about Theresa May having trouble pushing forward with the issue, because market sentiment is changing every day. No major big fundamentals changing the moves. We had the rate hike that came as expected. We got a push to the downside, and then some good talks about politics send us back up. And every single time we see any headlines, we see this pair moving fast. So I'm gonna only talk technicals for now. And for me, where we are trading right now on sterling Aussie is not really tradable. Maybe where on the 4 hour we can see that we do have some structure to work with from here, but longer term I think that we want to wait for the major test of a major level like this and see if we're gonna get any bearish evidence to sell it, or a retest at a major level like this one and start looking for bullish evidence for a possible bounce from this area. Where we are right now, I'm not so very interested at the moment to trade, but of course I want to make the analyze for you guys, because I know many of you trade these pairs, or many of these pairs I do. I don't trade all of them, but I make the technicals and to you, so you can have some ideas about the pairs you're following. Okay, so for me, the monthly S1 would be a great retest area, or the extreme highs up here, and looking for possible bearish evidence from this level. It seems like we are going for a while in a sideways market on many sterling pairs. Another choppy story, and hard to follow, hard to trade, especially for beginners. And this one too is start looking a little bit heavy. We making a lower high, we make a lower low here, then we have some rejection back up, and as for now it could be this range we are trading inside, as you see here, but with some more pressure down lately, as you see after this bearish engulfing very strong move to the downside. You should go lower to 4 hour time frame and try to find your levels. Yeah, As you see here, this area, I've marked this area because it's have been a good support and resistant level in the past, and shorter term trades could be taken from the retest of those levels back down to retest these lows. So I'm still looking for this as a possible range market until we have a clear breakout. If we break back above and hold this level, of course we can look for possible retest and bullish evidence at this level to see if we're gonna test these highs up here. Otherwise, the bounce from 1.4850 should be also a good level back down here. Yeah, so for a day trader, good range to work with, small ranges. For those of you who want to hold longer term, you probably want to wait for extreme levels to trade from, as a retest back down here. Look for bullish evidence and try to take the bounce from the extreme levels instead. Yeah. Sterling New Zealand also seems like we've got rejected hardly. We making lower lows and lower highs now on the daily, and I still see the monthly S1 as the possible area to look for a possible bounce from, look for bullish evidence from this level. So if we look left, you see this structure has been acting as good resistant. It have been a support level back down here, and I still see that this level is the important level that we may find a possible bullish evidence at and try to take another long to retest these highs up here. Yeah, 4 hour time frame show us a lower range to work with. If we look at it like this, we were looking at this broken neckline, retested once, and now we are retesting once again. So for short time frame, that there is a possibility that we may get another bounce from this level, but I don't see any divergence on the RSI yet, on the 4 hour at least. On the 1 hour, not much of divergence too, but last week on Friday we had a great move to the upside and then got rejected back down. So the best way I see it is the 4 hour to look where the price is testing right now. This structure is a good structure to work with from the monthly pivot point here, that we may see a retest of these lows, and the best would be the retest of the monthly S1 for another possible bounce to the upside from this level. Yeah. Now you see it much clearer on the 4 hours since we broke this neckline and we tested a couple of times now. Alex, we did Sterling Aussie already. You just go back and watch that. Sterling USD also inside a bigger range. If you look at it like this, we have this range. We are in the middle of that right now, and for a position trades, another retest at this level at the monthly S1 and these previous structure would be good level to look at for a possible bullish evidence, or a retest of these highs up here around the 133.24 level. Up here that would be good level to look at for bearish evidence for another bounce to the downside. We're still ranging inside this box, and that's why I am looking for a continuation of this ranging market until the pair find a real direction to go with. As for now, it is still inside this range, and we should keep try to trade those bounces until we get a breakout. New Zealand USD gave us a good trade, but wasn't an easy one. We've been hedging all the move to the downside, and the hedge to the downside almost gave me more pips and money, more than the initial long I have from down here. Well, it is a beginning of a possible move, but if we look left here, you see the last time we've been trading in this area, we had a couple of, if maybe not more, maybe 3 weeks here inside this box before we got the breakout and the real trend started to the upside. So we possibly looking at the same scenario that we keep having some trouble here, but there is some difference here now. We had these 4 or 5 days down here, and then we broke above, rejected at the monthly pivot point, and I still see this neckline as an important level. So if you are not in a long position and you want to try to go long on this pair, you want to wait for another, possibly if you get another retest of this neckline here and this structure support, to try to take along from this important level. I think we have a clear level on the daily, as you see. It is an important area, and we should keep looking for buying possibilities from here until we see a break below this structure before we start thinking that this may continue lower. As for now, keep looking to for bullish evidence around this area, around this neckline, and it's more clear on the 4 hour. I'm talking about this box here. Okay, but yeah, once again, it wasn't easy. We've been hedging all these moves to the downside and taking profit at daily pivot points levels. USD CAD. Now, since we got rejected, we got this double top at the 50%. I was waiting for a little bit of a deeper correction up to this level. We never got that. We broke this neckline. We broke now, last week we broke this low here, and it seems like if you are holding a short, that there is a possibility that we reach the monthly S1 down here, and this these previous structure looking left here as a first target level. If this got broken, then of course your second level would be down here at these structures, where I think we may have troubles pushing through that. If you're not in a trade, as you see here, this we've been trading this in my room. Some of the traders took the short already from this level, and we kept following for a possible retest, and we got that retest. We broke the low here. Now we have another lower low. So if you are looking to try to short this, you probably want to look for a possible retest of the monthly pivot point level, or even better, if you got a deeper correction higher, to trade from. You can draw a Fibonacci retracement also on this leg to see if you can probably trade from 61.8 retracement to the upside. But I think the 50% and the monthly pivot is more possible to see, since that is also at these structure levels, and we have the 38.2 exactly at this previous structure here, the first level of possible reversal here on this one. Once again, targets around the monthly S1 and this previous structure, as you see here. It is very clear on the 4 hour. Especially if oil keep pushing higher, yeah? So keep an eye on that. USD JAPY. This very important level 114.50 is still holding. We've been talking about this level. It seems like the bears is defending this level very, very good. We had a couple of tests here. We had a fake out, couldn't break through, and since then we are moving lower, but in a slow manner. The market, this move is still a bullish structure. As you see, we still have our higher highs and higher lows, but now it's clear that the momentum is fading. So the levels are, of course, if we get another test here, that would be great to try to short it again. I'm not sure if we're gonna get that. And if you are holding a short position, you want to see a break of this structure here and that we enter back in the lower box. As you see in this picture, we have a clear range, this lower range and this upper range now, and the price is sitting exactly at that levels, yeah? So there is a possibility that we keep bouncing in the upper box. So bullish evidence at the bottom of the upper box here could send us give us at least another bounce to retest these highs if you get any bullish evidence here. If you are holding a short, you want to see a break of these lows, this low here and these lows here. If that got broken, that we may see a retest of the bottom of this lower range, okay, where we also have the monthly S1 and the 112 area should be a good target level. So longer term position trader, I think they're gonna be defending the 112 level for a possible bounce up, yeah? So for more shorts, we are waiting to see a break of this structure here on a daily basis. That would give us the possibility to reach these levels down here. And we are back on Dixie, which means that was the last pair. Let's see, Tabo asking if it was inverse head and shoulder on USD CAD daily. Yeah, why not? could be. I think you're talking about this. Oh, where is it? Let me try one more time. Head, shoulder, head. Right. So I think you're talking about this, yeah. But yeah, it is possible. We broke the neckline, but on the retest, it seems like we broke the neckline, this neckline here, and we may, as I said, see some troubles at the monthly S1 and this possible structure here, where we also have the neckline of the right shoulder. So yeah, Bitcoins. I've called the long on the Bitcoins, but I don't trade it. As you remember, guys, I called this long down here, but I don't trade Bitcoins. So happy pips for those of you who took this trade. It went like crazy, yeah, last week it's been selling off very hard, and it seems like the monthly pivot point, where we also have some structure, is holding well so far. So I think if we go down to the 4 hour to try to find some levels, another retest of the monthly pivot point, and this area here should be the first level to look at for bullish evidence, to see if we're gonna get another bounce to the upside. Now when we have this rejection, that would be the first level to look at for a possible long, since this market is still in an uptrend, but your target should be around the neckline here. Now since we have this double top and the neckline is broken, and I'm not sure that we may see another break higher from here. And I have very little information about the fundamentals behind it, what's make those movements. And the reason I don't trade it, because I'm not really understanding how it works. Of course I know the basics, but it's easier for me to trade Forex and metals because I can see the correlation, I can read about the fundamentals about them, but on Bitcoins I'm not sure what is the most important thing that make Bitcoin's movements. Yeah, so since I don't have the fundamentals that I need to know about it, I don't trade it. But if I would trade it, of course, another retest here would be the level I would look for bullish evidence at. And of course the second level is the 5,000 area, which is the extreme level to try to go long from. John is asking, for us beginners, what will be the easiest pair to watch and trade this week? 2 to 3 pairs. It's very hard to say, but you maybe want to trade the pairs that have normal ADR, which means that you don't have very fast movement, so you can react and in your way. I would say stay away from sterling pairs for next week, since, as I said, the market sentiment changed all the time. Euro USD could be something, since we have this range as explained. You can still trying to work these bounce, try to buy the low of the box and sell the highs of the box. That would be a good pair to look at for next week. Aussie USD also is not the pair that moves a lot. All the Swiss pairs you can also look at. They don't move a lot fast, so you will have the time to adapt if you've done anything wrong to manage that trade. I hope that answered your question, Jan. Yes, you're welcome, Felipe. Okay guys, that was it for today. I don't see any other questions. Please, as usual, if you did like the session, hit the like buttons. I'm not seeing many likes yet. Shame on you. Okay guys, see you out there, and thank you for joining me today. And yeah, see you on Telegram, Facebook, and my lovely students, see you in our trading room. Bye bye everybody.